Oh, my namesake, and that's the equation. It's the name of God that I decrypted. Listen to my call from around myself, from around my throne. If any, I think hopefully you'll see where the physics is in this. And God discusses the spirit, this energy in the form of a woman. It's pretty erotic. Oh, my namesake, listen to my call from around my throne, so that it may summon thee to a sea which has no boundary, into whose depths no diver has reached. Verily, thy Lord is knowing and generous. Verily, we desire to bestow our favor upon thee by mentioning that which we have seen, so that thou mayest realize that we have worlds within this world, and offer thanks to thy Lord the Almighty. Verily, if he wished, he could make the rays of the sun manifest from the net, and the waves of the sea from the rock. He hath power, as he set forth in detail, knowledge of what was and what will be, not a point, nor at the time.
Let's first of all just give a round of applause for each other being here, you know, and being alive, since this is the most beautiful thing of all, and Mr. Marko Roden, you know, being willing to present everything that he's discovered. So our organization is called the United Multimedia Consortium. Our website is theummc.org.
Okay, if anybody has anything to say, I'm not going to acknowledge you if you raise your hand. You have to just blurt it out. I can be in mid-speech and you can interrupt me. I have my way of doing things, and my way of doing things is as whatever is the most expedited way of doing it is the way I like to do it. So so you can interrupt, you can say it out, but it's up to you, and you got to speak real loud when you speak. And I'm not going to repeat what you say, so you got to make sure everybody else hears what you say. That's assuming you're going to have anything to say. The purpose of this conversation tonight is going to be for me to explain a couple things. Some people have math phobia, and I don't blame them. And so I'm not supposed to be causing people to be uncomfortable, but I am. One of my goals was to explain numbers and their relationships without. It's called math. Sometimes it's called surface topology or matrix algebra or blah blah blah. But the truth is what I'm doing is closer to cross addition or numerology, or in computer science it's called decimal parity. The classic, most correct term for it is casting out nines, which I'm not going to explain yet. Okay, all I am is I'm the discoverer of it. I'm also a little bit more from the standpoint that I'm also the operating will. It wouldn't exist if I didn't devote my entire life to keeping it afloat. So that's one aspect, is to explain the discovery itself so you can explain it to your spouses, to whoever you're going to see when you leave here. If you can't explain it, then I failed, okay? The next thing is I have peer review, so I'll share my endorsements. Another thing is I'm extremely, and this is, we've already had some ruffled feathers today, but I'm very heavily into religious mysticism, into God, and into my favorite subject, which is paranormal psychology, altered states, the brain revolution. My field of interest clinically, it's called neurogenesis, or it's properly by me, I call it biophysical harmonics. It's the study on how to tap into the full potential of the brain, the so-called underutilized remaining 90% potential of the brain. All the math, everything I know, everything I do is incidental. It was the tools that I developed to understand how the brain works. And I never did these things because I was interested in the fields that they have application to, such as artificial intelligence, free energy, fusion, space travel. Certainly they're very wonderful topics because we need them. It's the crying need of our time and the age in which we live in. But that wasn't my main focus. In fact, I actually developed those fields only because I knew that nobody would believe in what I do as it relates to the brain. So my view is technology is going to destroy us, and technology can also save us. It's a gauntlet, and so we have no choice but to come out the other side of it, and with hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So, what do we got? This is this is a book that I was hoping would be obsolete. I was hoping by now I would have a curriculum for children in school. I would have a video game. God knows we started so many products, wrote so many articles, and never ever did we have the funding or the energy or time to complete anything. The book was finished around, well, the illustrations were finished around 88, I think. 1988. Anyway, the name of the book I called Aerodynamics as the title. I put 3 S's on it. I called it the Dandelion Puff Principle, Point Energy Creation Physics. I get a lot of requests. I've never made it available because the book is too hard to understand, so now I'm going to try and make it easier and put this available on YouTube, this video. Okay, so I say God's at the center of everything. Just that simple. In fact, in the Baha'i faith scriptures, it refers to him as the central orb. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is a imploding bubble. It's called sonophysics, and I'm showing that they say that it's 5,300 degrees at the center, which is hotter than the surface of sun, Celsius, and that it's producing a jet that's 400 kilometers per hour. Remember, Kella last night asked me how do I use it as a propulsion system? Well, there's what she wanted. This is a nozzle, even though it's an imploding cavitation of a bubble, and it's in the form of a toroid, a donut. Okay, I'd love to do more, but I don't think I can take the time. It's a jet, so let's go to the next one. Okay, this is my discovery. I called it, remember what I said? I called it the flux thruster atom pulsar. They named it after me, the Rodin coil, because my term was too long. And I predicted this hole. The coil was made very crudely, very inexpensively, but they spent millions of dollars of test equipment on it to confirm that it was getting more magnetism than conventional mathematics. And in this particular coil, this one made, this is up online, and we'll pull up his folder. The one we're looking at is Jean-Louis Naudin of France, JLN Labs.